Hi guys, before we get into today's video, this is a list of products that you'll need to achieve today's makeup look. For more information on the specific product you're seeking, please check the link in the description. Yes, this video is long, but it is meant to be a follow-along video for you to sit down and do your makeup with me so we can both achieve the perfect everyday makeup look. With that being said, let's get into today's video. Hey guys, so today we are going to be doing our makeup, learning how to do our makeup, and this is a video more so for the beginners, so I'm going to try to take it easy as possible and try to cut out a lot of steps that I would typically do, just so we can get the basics of doing our makeup, and that starts with, a good base, doing our eyebrows. Yes, we're going to be doing shadows, so let's not be scared of that, and girl, don't be afraid of some color because we are definitely adding that blush, okay? Y'all have been asking me for a makeup video, girl, you can't possibly use all those products you list, where's the eyebrow tutorial? When are you gonna put another YouTube video out? Girl, my bad, y'all, my bad. Because the last thing I want to do is film girls. That's literally the last thing on my list. But anyways, girl, let's get into it and let's learn how to do our makeup. So as you can see, I'm using my e.l.f. eyebrow pencil in the shade Deep Brown. And I'm brushing my eyebrows up in the direction that I want them to go. I do not have a wax. I'm pretty bad at keeping my eyebrows maintained, but you'll see from this video that you don't need a wax, or your eyebrows don't necessarily need to be clean in order to create a seamless eyebrow look. So zooming in here, you can see I'm doing light strokes for my brows. Light is key because we don't want to walk around here looking like a Sharpie. So I'm doing light strokes for my brows, and I'm just outlining the shape that I want, creating the shape that I want for my brows. And you can see how easy this is. And maybe it's because I've been doing this for so long, but it's really not that hard. I'm just creating hair-like strokes within my brows to mimic what a full brow would look like. So this is something that you definitely want to take your time with. I feel like when people see you, one of the things that stand out with your face is definitely going to be your brows. I feel like your brows can really make or break your look. So now that I've done the first brow, I'm going to take what I did to the first brow, and I'm going to go in and do that to the second brow. And as you can see, my brows are pretty much full at the beginning, but they kind of get sparse at the end. So doing your brows is really just about shaping them, and you want to shape it to your liking. You don't have to follow how I'm shaping mine. As you can see, I kind of start at the front of the brow, and then I work my way backwards. And if you mess up here, it's fine, because we're going to go up in with concealer and really define and outline the brow shape that we are in fact creating. I'm going in with my e.l.f. concealer, and we are going to define that brow. So I'm starting in the arch, the bottom arch, and I'm dragging the brush backwards, like to the end. And then after we're done with that, I'm going to go into the front, and I'm going to drag it all the way through this time. once I've dragged it, you know, all the way through, I'm going to drag that concealer down so that I can begin to blend that out. But of course, before we blend it out in its entirety, I'm gonna go in on the top, and I'm also gonna do the same thing that I did to the bottom, because we want to define both the top and bottom portions of the brow to create a nice seamless look. And for this, I'm using a flat brush. It's easier just to maneuver with, so I recommend getting a flat brush. This brush happens to be from Morphe. I don't know which one, but it is a Morphe brush. I'm sure there's other brushes that you can find that are flat. But the flatness of the brush just helps you to maneuver and be very precise with the application of the concealer. So now I am taking a blending brush, and this is a Real Techniques brush, but I'm taking this brush and I'm blending out the concealer that we just applied. And when you're blending out, be careful not to accidentally blend into the brow, because then you'll probably have to start over, or you'll probably have to redo or fill in the area that you've already, you know, completed. So I'm just blending that out until it's, you know, blended to my liking. I like to just make sure it's blended in seamlessly, so it's almost like a faded transition into the skin, if that makes sense. Whatever we do to one side, we are in fact going to do to the other. And then you can just see this brow definitely has a different arch than the other brow, but I'm just doing the same thing. I start at the arch, the middle of my brow where the arch is at the bottom. I drag it out backwards, you know, outward past my eye. Then I go in at the front and I do the same thing. I go through the whole brow, and then I'm gonna drag it down. And before we blend out, we're gonna do the top brow the same way, and then we're gonna blend it out so we get that seamless look. Going in with my brush to blend it out. We kind of just blending back and forth, and I'm being careful not to get that concealer into my brow. I'm only keeping it on my skin above and below my brow, and I'm blending out that, I'm going to blend out that middle section too, so it's not giving unibrow. I did forget to mention, you want to start off when you're doing makeup with clean brushes. At this point where I was doing my makeup, my brushes were not clean, and so when your brushes aren't clean, that makeup begins to pack on there, and it can leave residue and make your makeup look spotchy and just not blended all that great. So I recommend cleaning your brushes before you do your makeup. I mean, if you wait a day or two, maybe you're doing your makeup both Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that's fine. But after 3 days, I just suggest cleaning your brushes, and you know, so you can start over fresh and that makeup isn't being caked on every time, thus ruining your foundation or your base or whatever you're doing. And right now I'm just filling in any areas that I see need to be filled in. Of course, this front portion that needed to be filled in, so I'm going back in, and then I'm doing any cleanups that I need to do, just to make sure my brows look good, because I do not play with my brows. But I'm going back in with a little bit of concealer. I'm going to blend that out again, And this is the longest part of my makeup because I just really feel like your brows make or break your face. But I do not play by my brows, and I'm going to make sure they look good before I move on to my base and anything else within my routine. Okay, so now we are getting into our face. So I'm putting on our primer. I'm using the e.l.f. Primer. And this is just to help the makeup stay in place. And I'm showing you how much I'm using. So I'm just going to put that in my hands, rub it together, and I'm going to just apply it all over my face. But being careful not to mess up the brows that we just did, okay? So be very careful. I'm very careful around my forehead area because that's where the brows are, and that's where we just concealed. And we basically, you know, the brows are basically done at this point. So we don't want to mess that up. So I'm going in with my fan just to kind of get that that primer to be a bit tacky, so I can go in with applying my foundation. I don't want it to be too wet, so I'm just trying to dry it down a little bit so that way the base is tacky. I'm going with NARS, my favorite foundation to date. Everything I've tried has nothing on NARS. So with NARS, this is a matte foundation. I'm putting it on the back of my hand so it can kind of warm up before I apply it to my face. You can see how much I'm using. And I do not play about how much foundation I put on. If you are bothered by full coverage, maybe this isn't the foundation for you, but I'm a full coverage base, so I'm going to pack that on. Zooming in here, you're going to see me taking a beauty blender to apply the foundation. And I forgot to actually put concealer under my eyes. That's why I kind of stopped. But I'm using the closest concealer to go underneath my eyes, just to kind of get rid of those dark circles. I know you could probably use like the LA Pro concealer in like the shade orange or whatever, but I'm just using this concealer to go under my eyes just to brighten them or cover the dark marks that I have. And then we're going to get back into blending. So I'm taking that beauty blender and I am blending that foundation in. Okay, so I'm blending my face, and I just feel like your base is the most important thing outside of your eyebrows. The base needs to be flawless if you want your whatever you put on top to fit with it. So your concealer on top, your blush, contour, bronzer, all of that, your base needs to be seamless if you want everything else to follow suit. So I take my time with blending. This is not something that you just rush through, in my opinion, because you want that base to be like a good, you just want your base to be good. And base is basically your foundation. So of course, this is a foundation. We're laying the footprint of how the rest of our makeup is going to go. And if your base is off, the rest of your makeup is going to be off, in my opinion. So when blending closer towards our face or our eyebrows, I'm going to be a bit careful because I do not want to mess up what I just did with the brows. So that's why I feel like a lot of people, they do their foundation first and then their brows. But me first, I'm a brows first type of girl. And I also don't like blending my foundation into my hairline. It's just a personal preference of mine, but you can if you choose. I just really don't care for it. It's just harder to get. I just don't like it. I don't like it. But sometimes I'll go in with the brush and the residue from the makeup that's on the brush, I'll blend it out in my hairline. But I just don't like putting wet foundation within my hairline. I don't like doing that. So this is where I'm taking my brush and I'm blending out what I just did for my from my beauty blender. I don't know, see, there I am with the brush in my hairline, but I just feel like this kind of helps to blend it out even more than what the beauty blender is doing. But I pick up the brush after I've kind of melted the foundation into my skin a bit, so it's not just wet product on the brush. I feel like it's harder to clean that way, in my opinion. So it may seem like I'm being rough with my face, but I'm actually not. I'm just patting the makeup into my skin. It's already on, but I just want to make sure it's blended out seamlessly. Like I said, we want to get a good base, so that way the rest of the makeup we're applying on top is just going to fit on and just mesh together well with our foundation.
You should let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything you want and need. A baby, good love and protection. Make me your selection. Show you the way love's supposed to be. Baby, you should let me love you, love you, love you, love you. Yeah. Listen, your true beauty's description looks so good.
Going in with more foundation, we're applying it on our face. Like I said, I'm not afraid to cake this makeup on, but the way I do it's not giving cakey. But I just like the full coverage, so any blemishes that I have, it's gone. The NARS makeup is going to cover it all. And so I'm just repeating the same steps, applying more foundation, blending it out with a beauty brush before I go in with my blending brush to blend everything out and make it seamless. So I'm keeping this video in real time because I really just wanted to show you guys how much goes into your makeup and the fact that I'm not rushing. Especially for a beginner, I recommend just taking your time, and I just want to show you how well or how much you need to blend. Some people may see this and think it's excessive, but this is what works for me. As a beginner, I just recommend maybe doing this on a day where you don't have anywhere to go and you're just in the house. Just use this as a practice video and just sit right along and, you know, do your makeup with me.
So can we make this thing ours? You should let me love.
Okay, so as mentioned before, I'm going back in with the brush after blending it out with the beauty blender, and I'm just going to make sure everything is blended seamlessly. And this is the last time that I'm going to do this because I typically do 2 layers of foundation, and then any extra layers I do is only from the makeup that's sitting, the wet makeup that's still on the back of my hand. So I'm making sure I blend this out really good so that there's no wet makeup sitting on my face. I want everything to be blended in and dried down so I can go in with the rest of my makeup. That way I'm not applying makeup or like my brush and stuff onto wet foundation and just ruining everything.
That's all you need, baby.
So now I'm going in with my concealer and we're about to do our eyes. Let's not be afraid of eyeshadow, child. So the same brush that we use to define our brows, we're also going to use that for the base on our eyelids. And this is also the same concealer we use to define our brow. So you can see I put some concealer on the back of my hand. I took the brush and I'm applying it on my lid. And I'm just going to pat it out before I blend it out with the brush we used to blend our eyebrows earlier. So I kind of want to make sure it's kind of tacky on my eyelid, so that way I'm not blending out wet product unlike I would do my foundation. So I'm just making sure that concealer is blended out properly so that there's no wet spaces, and then when we apply the eyeshadow it gets messed up. And as you know, whatever we do to one side, we do to the other side. So here we are doing that to the second eyelid, applying the concealer to our eyebrow, patting it down before we blend the makeup out. Okay, so now we're going in with our Jaclyn Hill palette. This is a palette I got years ago, so I'm not sure if this is still being sold, but I'm going to take a brush, kind of like a fluffy brush. I'm going to go in and use the color brown. It's kind of like a brownish purple the way it appears on my skin, but as you can see, I'm using that brown just below the red and above the black, and we're going to apply that on our lid, the full lid. So we're just going to pat it and pack it into our eyelid, and then we're just going to blend it out. So we're kind of doing this like how we do the concealer. We're going to pat it down first before we blend out. And for a minute, I really just didn't like applying eyeshadow because I felt like I wasn't good at it. But I think this is something that you just have to practice with, because my eye space is very minimal, unlike some people. I just sometimes feel like eyeshadow is not, you know, I'm not really good at it. But it's just something that I have to practice with and get more comfortable with, so I can figure out the placement that works best for my eyelid and my face. And of course, whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. So we're going to go in with that brown color and pat it on our lid first before we blend it out. And if you want to dip your brush into the color several times, or pack it on several times before going on to the next shade, that's perfectly fine, especially if you want a more pigmented look.
The truth is fitting, 'cause you ain't never talking loud and you know plenty. You know what I'm talking about, 'cause you just get me. Yeah, you so pretty. If everything is dipped in gold, then baby it will never grow. Everything sweet ain't sugar coated. What a lie. What a lie. What a lie. What a lie. Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast when you do what you want. At this time, doing what I want. Hope you doing what you want. What you want?
But she don't love me, she's too scary. Jackie Brown. I wanna know if she's too down. Will you be my leading lady? I want a contract, girl, no maybe. In the meantime,
It's not going what I want.
just some me time.
Hope you doing what you want.
Crib by the beach like Odell. No, I'm on my killers, don't tell. Shadow my mark of the New York the shelf. Now my bitches did the Chanel. Will you be my leading lady? I wanna contract, girl, no maybe. In the meantime,
It's not going what I want.
it's some me time.
I'm going in with a lighter color. This is kind of like a brownish color. I'm going to put that on top of the brow, basically focusing on my lid. So on top of the brown and more so on the main space of my eyelid. And then of course, you know, we got to blend out into the brown so it can give us a seamless look. So makeup really is all about blending and making sure everything is blended properly so we can all just go together seamlessly. It's kind of like a picture, like you're painting a picture. You want to make sure all the colors are blended together so there's no harsh lines. And when you step back to look at it, it's just this beautiful masterpiece that's so blended together. The colors, just everything works together.
Tell me what you say now. Tell me what you say. You said that you would come again. You said that we would remain friends, but you know that I do not depend on nothing or no one. So why would you show up so uninvited? Just change my mind like that. Please don't take this personal. But you ain't shit. You weren't special till I made you no item. Please don't
So we're gonna
like
go in with that flat brush that we used to do our brows, and we're taking some concealer and putting it from the corner of our eye to kind of like the middle, because we're gonna go in with the lighter shade. So you can see I'm patting it down before I'm going to blend it out. So we're doing the same thing with the other eye. We're taking that concealer, dragging it from the corner of our eye to just about the middle, and we're patting it down. And now we're just gonna blend it out, and just being careful to only blend it out where that concealer is. And this is before we apply our lighter shade. I'm taking a different brush, and I'm going to use that to use our lighter shade. So I'm going with the lighter shade, and I'm only going to put it where that concealer is, and that's just going to give us a pop out from the brown and like that orangish brown color. And then once I put that color on, I'm going to blend it out. The other brush that I used for the browns, and I'm going to blend it out so it's not just sitting on top, but it gives it a more seamless look, and you'll see just in a second. Taking that brush that was used for the brown, and we're blending out above that lighter shade and also on the sides of that lighter shade, so it just blends seamlessly, but we're also being careful not to mix or blend into that lighter shade, if that makes sense. And you can just see what I'm doing. It's pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna go in with a brush to add just a little bit more lighter shade before we move on from our eyes. And you can see the more I'm blending it out, the more seamless that it's becoming, and it's just kind of meshing well. Like that light shade is kind of blending out into the darker shades, and that's the look that we want.
Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me? Hands in the stove, how the faucet's running and I keep looking at you. Stuck on your phone, you're stuck in your zone. You don't ever, but I don't wanna give up. Baby, I just...
Now moving on to our concealer, I'm taking this bright e.l.f. concealer, and I'm going to put that in the corner of my eye and kind of drag down along the side of my nose. I'm doing that for both sides, and I'm also going to take the shade that we used earlier for our eye base and also to define our brows. I'm going to take that, put that on the outer corner of my eyes, and kind of do an upwards line for that. And that's going to be on both sides as well. And I'm going to take my beauty blender, it's a different brush, and we're going to blend out that concealer. So that concealer is going to go all the way up and almost into our hairline, and then we're going to kind of outline our nose with this concealer, so it's kind of like a reverse contour in a way, where we're contouring with the concealer. And we're going to blend this concealer out as much as we can with this beauty blender, so it's, you know, nice and seamless. And we're going to do that same thing to the other side. But as you can see, the nose already starts to look a bit defined because of the placement of the concealer. Doing the same to the other side, and you can definitely see how we're defining the nose and also highlighting the face and the under eye. And I love a good bright under eye. I really do. If you don't want your under eye as bright, I wouldn't suggest using a concealer as light as what I used. I would just maybe go towards one that matches your skin tone, or maybe just a shade lighter.
Got tired of you, shit, you almost took my mind. Long say, call your name. You'll continue to try to play these games. Leave your family in the cold rain. And I don't think you'll ever change your ways. Cause a house is not a home where no one's there. So alone, no one's there. Should I move on since no one's here? What you got is good, that's why you refuse to let me walk out the light. You refuse to match up with my vibe. You keep wasting my time, you keep wasting my time.
I'm going in with a little bit more of that bright concealer, and I'm going to apply it just in the corners, not as much, but just in the corners, and then we are going to blend that out just to give it a brighter look. As you can see, I'm not blending it out all the way to the tail end like I did the other time, just kind of focusing more so underneath my eye. So I'm taking that beauty brush and I'm blending it out. On the other, I did kind of go towards the outer skirts, but normally I would just keep that bright concealer the second go round. I would just keep it concentrated underneath my eye. But we're taking this brush and we're going to blend it out. Kind of give that seamless look. Be careful on the nose. I was kind of a little reckless, but the more you blend it out on your nose, the more that the concealer tends to move over, thus shifting that kind of contour line we've made on our nose. So I feel like my concealer just keeps shifting, and it's making that, outline of my nose smaller and smaller every time. So I just be careful with that.
I better find your loving, I better find your heart. I better find your loving, I better find your heart. I better find your loving, I better find your heart. I better find, give all my love, and nothing's gonna tear us apart. Your loving, I better find your heart. I better find your loving, I better find your heart. I better find your loving, I better find your heart. I better find, give all my love, and nothing's gonna tear us apart.
I've been watching you from afar. Yes, I can remember. You're all a real man to me. Just right.
Now we're going to go on with that cream bronzer from Anastasia. This, I'm not going to focus too much on this because I'm still learning how to contour. So what I'm just doing is my natural cheekbones, that little indent that I typically see whenever, you know, I'm moving my face about, that's where we're putting the concealer or the bronzer. And I'm just going to blend that out, but I'm not going to focus too much on this because this, I'm still trying to learn and master and get the hang of this. So I'll just let y'all see how I do it. So I'm just blending this out with the beauty brush, and I'm going to go in with the brush that I was using earlier, my blending brush. But as you can see, I'm just kind of still learning the placement for this. So it's not something I'm necessarily going to focus on. I don't feel like you need this as a beginner. But yeah, I'm still trying to master this aspect of my makeup routine. Everything else I can get, but this, I'm still trying to figure out what placement for the bronzer works best for me. So now we're just going to move on, and we are going to go ahead and bake. So now we're taking our powder, and we are baking with a different sponge. And as you can see, I'm taking that powder and I'm packing it wherever I put that under our concealer, just so we can set that. And I'm also putting it alongside the nose where I kind of reverse contoured. I don't know if that would be the right term. But I'm taking it alongside my nose and kind of I'm outlining where we place the concealer. Goodness, can we talk today? I don't know. After that, we're getting into our mascara. I'm using mascara with a small brush so that way I can get all my hairs, and then we're going to go in with mascara to add more volume, and that one has like a thicker brush. This one, I don't need to talk too much on this because it's pretty evident how to apply mascara, so we're just going to move right along with this one.
You know what I'm talking about, 'cause you just get me, yeah, you so pretty. If everything is dipped in gold, then baby it will never grow. Everything sweet ain't sugar coated. What a lie.
Okay, after we do our mascara, we are going to dust off that powder, and I do have little lashes, like my lashes are not that long, so it probably doesn't even look like I have mascara on. But anyways, we're going to take that brush and we're just kind of brushing / patting that powder off, and you'll see what I'm doing.
Strip a booty with the rack like wow. Never forget ya, you put me on a feeling I never had. And ever since I've been trying to get it back, you pick it up, put it back. Now I'm something like the chemist on campus.
So now we're moving on to my favorite part, adding the color back into our face. I'm taking my Huda Beauty blush, and I absolutely love this blush. I'm putting it along my cheeks, and I'm also dragging it up alongside my cheekbones and sitting at the lower part, like the start of my forehead, like the side of my forehead. And I just love it. I just love that. I feel like it just adds something to the face. So that's what I'm doing. I'm adding it to my nose as well. And I'm going to do the other side. And you can see my placements here. And do not be afraid to pack that blush on, because that's one thing I'm going to do is pack that blush on. Okay, I'm going to pack the blush on, and we're also going to blend it out so it fits seamlessly and it's not just sitting on top of her face. And you'll see that in a second.
Novocaine, 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 Novocaine. Oh, for the pain, for the pain. Novocaine, Novocaine. Oh,
We're taking our blending brush and we're blending out that blush so that way it's blended in seamlessly with our makeup and it's not just sitting on our cheeks and we're looking like a clown. That's not what we're going for.
all the pretty girls involved with me, making pretty love to me, pretty, pity. Oh, I can't feel a thing.
Now we're taking a highlighter and a small brush. We're going to highlight the bridge of our nose, our brow bone, and also our cheeks. And then we're going to take that blending brush and we're going to blend that out as well. So once again, it's not just sitting on our face. So we're taking our blending brush, we're blending that out. And I also kind of add some to my Cupid's bow on my lip just to kind of give it a little bit of an accent.
Novocaine, Novocaine, Novocaine.
So now we are going in with the lip liner. Also my favorite part, we're going with the shade Black and also the NYX Butter Gloss. I believe that's what it is. I love their glosses, but we're going to outline with black. And I just love a dark outline. Like it just does something to me. We're going to outline, and this is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just outlining my lips. If you want to overline, that's perfectly fine. You do what works best for you, your face, and your preference. But yeah, this is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just going to let you watch. So here I kind of stopped recording a little bit too soon, and when I re-recorded, I didn't know it was zoomed in like this. But we're taking this On Till Dawn setting spray, which I stand by, and we're just spraying it all over my face. I do not play about the setting spray. We're going to keep spraying it over our face. And then we're going to go in with that mini mascara, like with that small bristle, and we're going to do our bottom lashes. I'm just really into bottom lashes right now. So you can add bottom lashes, but I just like to put mascara on the bottom lashes so I can accentuate them, just to give my eyes a little bit more pop than what's already there. You can't really see here, of course, because I zoomed in too close without realizing it, but I'm taking an eyeliner and I'm adding a beauty mark underneath my eye, and I think that just really eats, like it really just adds something more to my face. And then I'm going to go back in with the setting spray and just spray my face one more time. I'm going to take my little fan from earlier and I'm going to let it just dry down so I'm not just having a wet, splotchy face. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys learned something. I stayed away from doing eyeliner and also adding lashes just because I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. As far as the brushes, I don't think it's that important for me to include brushes that I use, but I am going to try to list all the products that I use in the link in the description, and also have them on the screen as I'm using them. So it'll be more helpful, and you guys can jot them down and write, you know, take a screenshot or whatever. But for the most part, everything that I use will be in the description. As far as the brushes, you could either get e.l.f. brushes, which is what I have, Morphe, or you can get Real Technique. If you want to stay on the inexpensive side, since you are maybe a beginner and don't want to invest too much, I suggest e.l.f. and then the Real Technique brushes, and then just going from there. But I hope you guys learned something. This is my basic everyday kind of look that I go for. And yeah, if you guys decide to try this look out, definitely tag me on Instagram, and I'll post my Instagram too for you guys to tag me so I can see your looks and your beautiful faces. Alright guys, bye, and thank you so much for watching. Till next time.
Tell the angels